Hey guys, what's up? I'm looking all sorts of rough, so I feel kind of icky. I'm getting my stitches out Tuesday, so that should be fun. Not. Um, so I want to talk about something that happened this morning. My husband and I watch a popular TV channel on, I guess you would call it true crime. And something really triggered me, about what my mother did. So I want to talk about it. How do I start? It was a part in the show where a boyfriend had broken into the girlfriend's computer and sent nasty messages to the kids, making believe it was from her. And she believed it. Needless to say, it was him the whole time. My mother had a boyfriend, one of her many revolving door boyfriends, that she just couldn't live without. He had convinced her that I was emotionally abusing the elderly being her in this case, and that she should basically press charges against me. Wow. After we saved her ass from that relationship, she's like, well, I never sent you those emails. Jay must have broken into my computer and sent them pretending to be me. My mother's so easily manipulated. This one, had convinced her that I hit her in the hospital. This, goes back to me being barred from seeing my mother. And I got so enraged because it just reminded me so much of the situation. Matter of fact, I kind of started chewing my husband out a little. Because he's like, oh, that was in the past. I said, you're not the one who got accused of hitting your own mother. Now, keep in mind, this man also claimed that my mother wanted nothing to do with me. And she was right next to him. And she wasn't allowed to talk. Saying that she had to rest. Because she was on all sorts of drugs and painkillers from her operation. When I finally was ready to talk to them, his excuse was that we all deal with stress differently, and he was sorry. You're sorry for putting me under a year of suicidal thoughts, broken hands just about from hitting things, and making my husband completely miserable. Right. When I had gone to see them, big mistake. He was going out of town, out of the country, and we decided that I would stay with her to keep, her company and stuff like that, which was just a big mistake. We started talking, and before her boyfriend left town, and he's like, I love you. I'm so sorry for what happened. Every inch of me just wanted to get up and slap him. You can't just say you're sorry for something like that and destroying somebody's life. And then them expecting to say I love you back and that everything's okay? No. My mother is so manipulated. The first time that this happened when I was a teenager, and we had talked about it years later, she said that I was an out-of-control teenager who needed to be controlled. Okay, so you let your boyfriend hit me, abuse me physically and mentally. I mean, we're talking about, worse than military punishment here. Being slapped for the most minor infraction. I'm never probably going to forgive my mother for that one. What mother lets that happen? She saw me having to kneel on brick walls for an hour at a time with shorts on, let my knees dig into the bricks. If I slumped, I would get smacked across the back of the head. If I didn't answer correctly, I'd get smacked in the back of the head. My mother claims she had no knowledge of this except for once or twice. And people wonder why I'm so bitter. I don't think any of you could forgive your parent for letting men do this to your daughter over and over again. And really, quite frankly, I cannot believe my husband today. And he said that it's in the past and I should forgive her. I am a strong Christian, do not get me wrong. And I was very humbled this week with everybody who helped me get through this week while my husband was away. He'd be home at night, but he was at a convention all day. And I thought I was done being so flared up over my mother. Apparently I'm not. There are flashbacks that happen every day that I try to control. I've been having a lot of flashbacks, actually. Not just of what my mother put me through, but of stuff I experienced on the street. And that's been really hard to deal with. To survive, I had to do stuff that no person should ever have to do. I think you ladies know where I'm going with this. And I remember the first time I had a really bad flashback. Brian and I had first started dating, and I didn't want to do something. And I had confided in my mother about it. And my mother said, well, if you don't, someone else will. Great advice to give your daughter who's having flashbacks. Primo advice, Mom. She has screwed with my head for so many years. I'm trying to understand that my husband is not the man or men who hurt me out there. My husband is a kind and loving soul who would never do anything to hurt me. Regardless, it's still very hard because there's some days I don't want to be touched. And it has nothing to do with my surgery. Of course, that's just been how, for our marriage. It's not easy. But sometimes he doesn't understand that sometimes it's nothing he did, but it's an emotional state of mind that I'm in sometimes, where especially if I'm going through a really, really tough patch, my mind will start to go back to almost like fight or flight, and I hope I can make some of you understand that. I'm PTSD because of everything that happened, and sometimes when you get really, really anxious over a situation, you take that fight or flight. You're either going to fight the hell out of somebody, or you're going to run. Obviously, I can't run. Okay, for literal reasons. Having 2 toes chopped off, you just can't really go anywhere right now. I also don't want to run from my husband. But, it's, I'm facing a lot of struggles, and I guess that seeing what I saw this morning just, triggered so much. I was doing okay until I saw that. And my husband and I will be having a long talk about this later, because he needs to support me. He doesn't need to say, oh, it's in the past, forgive her. I know Jesus forgave us for our sins, past, present, and future. He died on the cross for us. I'm supposed to be a better person, but as humans, we're not perfect, and we're going to get angry, and yes, I was humbled this week. Yes, I have so many Christian brothers and sisters who stood beside me this week. But I still get really angry. There's some things you just can't forgive. And even if you do, it's going to be in your mind for the rest of your life. Just like everything that happened to me is in my heart and in my head the rest of my life. I have to fight every single day to excuse me, to not go back to a place that I used to be. Not in the physical sense, because I would never go back to what I used to be. But just that emotional state of mind. And that's really hard right now. Also, because I've been tethered to this bed since the 19th, so it's really hard not to think about all these things. That's why you see me doing more and more videos right now. Sometimes it's daily vlog stuff, sometimes it has to do with my past. Bear with me, because each day is going to be different. I mean, I've been in pain every day since the 19th, and I'm bored as hell. So, it's been an emotional roller coaster. But before I get too emotional, I'm going to say thank you for watching what I have to say. Again, hopefully I will reach out to somebody. If not, hey, you've gotten some information about somebody else's life. I do want to try to say more about my past on the street and what I had to go through, but it's already 11 minutes and I don't like to go over too much longer. Y'all try to have a great day and hit me up if you have a question. Bye.